Have you ever really thought about what happens after you toss something in the recycling bin? Where does it actually go? Well, for a massive part of the world, the answer involves a group of incredible unsung heroes. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the world of waste pickers, and we'll be using a fantastic article from the blog A Bus on a Dusty Road as our guide to really understand the people who are the invisible backbone of global recycling. Okay, so for many of us, recycling is this clean, pretty, organized process, right? You've got your different bins for paper, plastic, glass, and a truck comes and picks it all up. Simple. But that's just one side of the story. In so many other parts of the world, that system just doesn't exist. All the waste, we're talking glass, plastic, food scraps, everything, it all just gets dumped into the same massive pile. And that's where our story really begins. So that begs the question, right? If the official, formal systems aren't handling this mess, who is? Who are the real heroes on the ground, sifting through literal mountains of mixed garbage to pull out anything and everything that's valuable? Well, the answer lies with this huge, informal workforce. Let's call them the unofficial recyclers. These are the folks who step in where formal systems fail, and they manage to create real value out of the stuff that we all just throw away. The official term for these individuals is waste picker. Now, that might sound pretty straightforward, but their role is so much more than that. They're basically entrepreneurs of the discarded. They are meticulously sifting through trash to recover the materials that we can use again. And while they're often totally ignored, what they do is absolutely critical for local economies and, frankly, for the planet. And let's be clear, this is not just some random scavenging. It's actually a pretty sophisticated, informal supply chain. It starts with collecting from mixed waste. Then they sort out the valuable stuff, they clean it, bundle it up, and then they sell these materials to local shops. They are the very first and most essential link in a circular economy that operates almost completely out of sight. But here's the thing. This incredibly essential work does not come easy, not at all. It's done under some of the most difficult conditions you can imagine, and it comes at a huge personal cost. So let's take a minute to look at the immense challenges these people are up against every single day. First off, and this is a big one, they are basically ghosts in the system. Because they operate in the informal economy, they have no coverage from labor laws. Just try to imagine that for a second, working your entire life with no health insurance, no paid sick days, literally no safety net. None. On top of that, their work is just incredibly dangerous. I mean, they are constantly exposed to things like broken glass, sharp metal, hazardous chemicals, and all sorts of diseases. And most of the time, they're doing it without any protective gear. And then there's the social burden. Waste pickers are so often stigmatized. They're looked down on, called dirty or low class. And this kind of thinking leads to real discrimination and isolates them from their own communities. It's heartbreaking. And what about their income? It's a total roller coaster. They get paid based on the weight of the materials they collect, which means their entire livelihood is tied to the constantly changing global market prices for things like scrap metal and plastic. So a dip in commodity prices halfway around the world could literally mean they can't afford to put food on the table. So, okay, after hearing all of those hardships, it would be easy to just feel pity, right? But let's pivot here, because we should be looking at waste pickers not with pity, but with genuine admiration. Let's talk about their incredible impact. This isn't some small niche issue. Get this, over 60% of the entire global workforce operates in the informal economy. That's billions of people. Waste pickers make up a huge and absolutely vital part of this invisible workforce, doing jobs that are essential for all of us. The article we're drawing from puts it perfectly. It says, waste pickers are on the front lines of the fight against pollution and climate change. I mean, just think about that. Every single bottle they pull from a landfill is one less piece of plastic floating in the ocean. So let's just sum it up. We should admire them for their massive positive environmental impact, for their economic contribution to local communities, for their just incredible resilience in the face of so much adversity, and because recognizing their work is a major step towards creating a more fair and equitable society. Okay, so acknowledging their work, admiring what they do, that's the first step. But the next step is taking action. So what can we actually do to support these unsung heroes? So, how can we help? The article lays out 5 really clear actions. We can advocate for them to have legal protections and fair wages. We can push for inclusive policies that give them a seat at the table when a city is planning its waste management. We can help provide access to basic resources like gloves and masks. We can use our own voices to raise awareness and fight that social stigma. And finally, we can support the local organizations that are already on the ground working directly with them. Ultimately, the big takeaway here is this. Supporting waste pickers isn't just about helping one marginalized group. It's about building a cleaner, greener, and much fairer world for every single one of us. Their work truly benefits us all. Look, we have only just scratched the surface of this story. To really, truly understand this issue, I seriously encourage you to go check out the full article on the A Bus on a Dusty Road blog. They also have an amazing podcast called Dusty Roads and a YouTube channel with even more incredible content. Go explore their work, and thank you for joining me for this explainer.